Good evening, everyone. So you're welcome to my program Mother Experience. I have Kehinde here with me. She'll be sharing some of her experiences as a mother. So we have different segments in which she'll be sharing her experience as a mother, and at the same time, she will share her pregnancy experience with us. So you are welcome to my program, Kehinde.
Thank you very much, Ma.
Yeah, thank you. So my viewers, they would like to see they would like to hear some of your experiences as a mother, the pregnancy experience, the postpartum experience, and at the same time life as a mother. How you were able to balance life as a mother with work and every other things. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you, Ma.
So how did you feel when you first find out that you were pregnant?
Sincerely, I didn't know how to feel.
Okay.
Sincerely, because I just got married,
Yeah.
and it was I got married in September,
Okay.
in the second to the last week in September,
Yeah.
and in the last week of October, I found out I was pregnant. So
Wow.
in my mind, I'm like, sincerely, I thought I was going to probably wait a while, wait for 1 month or two. It came like my next period was supposed to come and it did not come, and so I was not sure. I did the test, I think 2 times by myself. I did not tell my husband because I was not sure. I didn't want to raise any false alarm. So I had to go to a pharmacy where I could run a proper blood test to be able to confirm I was really pregnant. So it was that day. I was coming back from work, then I went for the test, and my mama got back and I'm like, I wanted to tell him something, and he was like, "You're pregnant." I'm like, how do you know I'm pregnant? We're like, well, he just knows. I'm like, so he was happy, but sincerely, I didn't know how. Me personally, I didn't know. I was not sad, but I didn't know how to feel because it was just one small girl that follow man, and before you know you're pregnant, and that was it.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Kehinde. What were your initial thoughts and emotion about becoming a mother?
Sincerely, nothing, but the thought of somebody is dependent on you.
Yeah.
For me, it feels like so much responsibility. The thought that you have to decide for someone what the person will eat, what the person will wear, what the person, because the cost of the person's life is actually on your own hands.
Yes.
So that thought and the responsibility, I think, was the major overwhelming factor for me, because I'm the last born. I know that they used to think for us. So the thought of you now carrying that a responsibility of taking care of somebody fully and wholly was like my major concern, really.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Kehinde, for sharing your experience. How did your body change during pregnancy?
I'm a mother of 2, and both pregnancies were not the same. My first pregnancy, I used to laugh at myself anytime I see my picture. I used to tell people that I look like a bag of beans.
Why?
That's what I tell people.
You are too fat.
I was a size 10 when I got married, and I was a size 10 weighing 64 kg. And I remember the last weight measurement I did before I had my first child delivery, I was 92.
Wow.
So I didn't have a long pregnancy, but those people that have pregnancy that is round.
Yes.
So I was fat and round and black. So I asked me to describe myself during my first pregnancy. I look like a bag of beans because I don't know. But my body changed. I think since then I lost my complexion. I was I was not yellow, but I was quite a fair person, but I went really black. And since then, my complexion has not come back to what it used to be. So, besides that, nothing.
Thank you very much. Were there any unexpected physical changes or challenges you faced?
No. My nurse, the hospital was the nurse there, she said that she wants to see me during delivery. That means I used to bounce to the ward. Like there's this other pregnant women drag, but you will bounce here. You will even abuse us and go back. That they want to see me during delivery. Sincerely,
Okay.
my pregnancy was, especially for my first child, I didn't have any. Aside the fact that I could not sleep the way I like to sleep because I like to sleep face down. That's how I like to
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
Aside that, I don't think about. I remember one day I couldn't even sleep at all. I ended up in the chair all night like this.
Yeah.
That's why I slept all night. But besides that, I think, and if it, yes, I remember my feet were always swollen.
Hmm.
I had big swollen feet.
Is it the two legs?
The two legs, yes,
Wow.
big swollen feet that I always had to raise my leg all the
Always,
time,
yeah.
all the time. Besides that,
Thank you very much. What were some of the common pregnancy symptoms you experienced?
eating like a thief. But with my second pregnancy, it was not the same. With my first child, I ate and ate. I remembered one day, and I was pregnant during lockdown, 2020 lockdown. And I cooked three cup of beans for myself and my husband. And my husband was like, okay, it's not eating yet. I should carry on, And I just brought the pots into the middle of the sitting room and I was watching the TV. And I was eating that, okay, I'll remain. And I finished 3 cup of beans. And my husband entered and I'm like, you finished?
Wow.
You finished 3 cup of beans? And I'm like, yes. So with my first child, I was eating like a thief. And another thing I had that time was when I brushed my teeth, I will always vomit. My tongue, I will always vomit. So I avoided brushing my tongue. I will not put the brush inside. I just and that's it. Because the moment I put the brush inside, I was just going to throw up. And I stopped that. And I was always sleeping in the morning. Morning sleep. I don't know. Shout out to my boss that I worked with, Mrs. Ajibola. When I got to work, when I finished eating, she wouldn't even bother me. She would not even come to my desk because she knows that as soon as I finish eating, I was going to sleep. And by 10 a.m., she'll come and wake me up by herself. Oh, yeah, stand up. You have slept enough. Start today's work. But I was always sleeping. I was always eating. And but with my second child, sincerely, I didn't have that symptoms. I was not eating. My second child pregnancy was, my eating habit was normal. My sleeping habit, no, I slept in the morning for the first 3 months. So I remember I changed my workplace at that time. And one of my concern was like, it is good that you're always sleeping in the morning. Are you sure that you are not? And I'm like, well, I don't know. But it was when that woman raised the concern of me always sleeping that I actually went for the pregnancy test, sincerely. Because she was like, these days you just come to work and you put your head on your desk and you just doze off. And I'm like, so but I didn't eat I wasn't eating as much, but I was sleeping too with my second pregnancy.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. How did you manage morning sickness, fatigue, or any other discomfort?
Hey, for me, that morning sickness was the brushing of my teeth, so my tongue. So I avoided it as much as I could because even me, I don't like throwing up. So I just brush my teeth and just the tip of my tongue. There's no point putting the brush inside. My husband used to laugh and say, probably after 9 months, I hope your tongue will be able to see what your tongue looks like. And I'm like, well, just leave it like that.
Yeah.
That was what I did. And for my sleepiness, all what I did was, because I know that I will always come to work to sleep first in the morning. So the bulk of my workload, I used to extend my work hours when I was pregnant. So the work I'm supposed to carry out early the next morning, I'd rather finish it off this evening because I know when I come in the morning, the energy is not there first. So I have to sleep first before I can start. So that was how I worked.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. How did you choose your healthcare provider for your prenatal care?
For my first child, it was a I got married and I left Lagos for Ibadan. So when I got to Ibadan, it was the hospital my husband was already using that I just registered under.
Okay.
So, and everybody says it's in Ibadan that time that the hospital was really good. It was a Catholic hospital, so that was how I did it. But for my second child, it was in the UK. You know, the UK system, you go to the GP, you tell them you're pregnant, then you start seeing your midwife. Then when you have major checkups, you go to the bigger hospitals, like that. So that was it.
Thank you very much. What was the experience with prenatal visits and screenings?
With my first child, I was very diligent. I was always going and going and going, and being at a private hospital, because I had paid so much for antenatal, I just felt like, you know, when you hear the amount of people that are using government hospital, all this, so these people took so much from me. So maybe because of that, maybe that's why I was bothering them. I don't know, but I was always going. I was consistent with my checkups, even when COVID struck and it had to be one-on-one. Nobody was coming in groups like we used to go. It had to be one-on-one, doctor saying. I was, but with my second child, sincerely, I didn't know what came over me. Probably I didn't feel like a pro, but I didn't know what came over. I did not start checkup until 25 weeks.
25 weeks?
I'm serious. I didn't feel like a pro. I don't know what happened, but I wasn't feeling like a pro. But I did start checkup until 25 weeks, and it was when I got to the UK. Sincerely, but throughout before I left Nigeria, I wasn't going for checkups. And I wasn't using medication at the same time. Don't be like me, please, but it was what it is.
Yes. Can you describe the range of emotions you experienced during pregnancy?
I was a happy pregnant lady. That's the word. Sincerely, I cannot when people say they have some kind of mood swing in pregnancy, I cannot relate. Sincerely. With both pregnancy, I was a happy pregnant lady. I was happy and vibrant during pregnancy. So I didn't have emotion backlog in my pregnancies. No, I didn't.
That's great, Kehinde. Thank you.
But I had after delivery, but in pregnancy, no.
So how did you cope with any fears or anxiety about childbirth and motherhood?
Hey, for my first child, I was not scared.
Yeah.
But you know, when you have not experienced something before, you don't know how it was going to be. I was not scared. I was not anxious. In fact, me and my husband decided that we're not going to tell anybody we were pregnant until they found out. So how my mom found out, I went home to my mom's place for Christmas and I forgot my medications in my room. And it was like my younger cousin that stayed with my parents that saw those medications. I went to give my mom and they forgot her medications. My mom said, these are pregnancy medications. And God gave, sincerely, if you know that I'm pregnant, I'm already close to my delivery. I don't always have big on me. So before you realize that I'm pregnant, my delivery date is close. So my mom was like, "Yeah, pregnant," and I'm like, "Okay, that's how she found out." But my in-laws didn't know until I think I was almost 8 months gone. Even though I saw them almost every week, but they didn't know. But for my mom, for me, I got most of the support from my mom because she was always, this is what you would do, use this medication, sleep on your side. Because my mom knows I like to sleep on my stomach. Don't sleep on your stomach, sleep on your side. Don't even lie on your back. You know those Yoruba beliefs. Don't lie on your back. Sleep on your side. Yeah, so those times when my legs started swelling, she was one I called to, raise your leg up to this. So most of my support was from my mom because my husband was as a novice as I was. So it was my mom back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I was not really anxious. She told me what I should expect in delivery. She told me how I should set my mind, how I should not be afraid, how even if the delivery is going really tough, I should not say any negative word. Instead, I should pray. And all of that built my confidence, even though my delivery was a God story. But because she had prepared me way ahead. I had 18 hours of labor that eventually led to a C-section.
Wow.
But in all of that, because of the confidence, I kept praying. I kept praying, and
yeah. Thank you very much. Who were your biggest sources of support during your pregnancy?
My husband and my mom, because that guy tried, because I was always eating. So
kudos to him.
He was always buying food, even when I did not ask. So it got to the point that he already knew that, let me just buy food. Even if she will not eat it, we'll put it in the fridge. But he was always, because of that food, he was always buying food. It's not like I was, how people say their food is smelling to them. No, my food was not smelling. As I was cooking, I was eating, but I will cook and finish and I will want more. But my husband is not a cooking person, so he does not want that stress. So if he's coming back from work, I did not request. He was always buying food, always buying food.
So that you have enough.
So I had food to eat, a lot of food. And my mom was, when you have a mom that is only girl, so all these things on you, that kind of thing. So both of them were just fantastic.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. How did your partner, family, or friends support you during this time?
My partner's when my mother-in-law eventually found out I was pregnant, she was angry because
you didn't tell her on time.
I didn't tell her that, and she traveled to the US in that period. She was like, that would have bought you your baby things. You messed up. Yeah, so at first she was angry, and I had to start. It's not like that, but in my mind I felt like you should be your son telling you that kind of thing. But after then, so me being new to Ibadan, I told her that I wanted to go for shopping, that I don't know where to go for baby things. So I had my list, and she told me that she come and meet her in her house, and we went. And I was buying things and she was buying things, and in my mind, my mother-in-law was speaking everything, and I'm like, hey, my budget has passed, And I went to tell her in her ear. My mother-in-law is a proper Ibadan woman. She's from Ojaopa. Shout out to Ibadan people. And she said, hey, I'm very aware. Like, just shut up with asking for your money. So, sincerely, she paid for everything that I bought. Everything that I bought, she paid for everything. Even when it was time to start shopping for clothes, she was asking me what was the sex, and I'm like, I don't know the sex. So she went to baby clothes side and bought boys and bought girls.
Wow.
And she brought them. And she told me she has told the person that if I have a girl, she will return the boys and swap the clothes. And so she when it came to getting things for the child, my mother-in-law was amazing.
Nice.
About 2 weeks to my delivery, she came with her mates, her house helps to my house. She bought different kind of chemicals, cleaning chemicals. They were cleaning, they were disinfecting the bathroom. She just, and she kept, even she changed the curtain in my sitting room that our own new child will not come and meet this my curtain that she doesn't like it. She changed the curtain. She just went all and about in that aspect. So she really did a good job in that aspect.
Yeah.
Sincerely.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. So you're welcome back. We are in the program Mother's Experience, where Kehinde, she has shared her pregnancy experience. So we are going to the section 2, where she'll be sharing some of her birth experience, her labor, and the delivery experience. Thank you very much, Kehinde. Can you describe your labor and delivery experience?
Hey, so for my first child, I was 38 weeks, and I just went for my random checks, and the doctor was like, you have to go home and go and get your delivery stuff. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm just 38 weeks, And I got home, my husband was like, just 38 weeks that. And that's he has a sister that is a doctor, but she's not a gynecologist. She's a psychiatrist. So, but he was like, he was going to ask her at least that she'll have a general knowledge of what should happen. And he called her. She was like, 38 weeks is too early, that she was going to call her friend that were gynecologists to ask that we should not go that day, that we should wait. The next day, I started getting worried because I told my husband, this is the doctor I've been seeing from the beginning. He knows, I'm not saying your sister is not, concerned, but this. So the second day, she was like, I should go to the hospital, that she would like to speak with the doctor. And like, thank the doctor was reasonable, because not all doctors will accept that.
Yeah.
And he spoke with her and he explained, and they did all their medical terminologies, blah, blah, blah. So they asked me to come in. I was not in labor. I was not pressed for anything, but the doctor was saying that the placenta was already too big, that it could choke the baby. So I had to come get the baby out. So I got to the hospital that night at about past 6 in the evening, and I was induced. That induction thing, I've heard people say they put them drip, but my own was something like a catheter in my stomach. So I was induced, and it was the most uncomfortable feeling ever in this world. We were the other lady in the other room, so I heard that she was induced, but I know that around past 1, the catheter came out, and when the catheter come out, it means that you started dilating, Both of us were induced around past 9 in the night, and all night I felt like weighing, vomiting, sitting, lying, sleeping. I had all the feelings at the same time. I was going to the toilet back and forth. And the hospital that I used the Catholic hospital. So a man and a woman cannot stay in the same room, even if I had the room to myself. So my husband had to go home in the night. So I was with my husband's younger sister, and she was like, is this how this thing is? And when the other lady catheter came out around past 1, the doctors will come and check on me, and they were, the nurses were talking. I'm like, oh God, see some of this. They did this thing for us at the same time. This person has come out. My usher did not come out until past 5 a.m. in the morning. So imagine how I felt all night. I had to call the nurse at some point. Is there anything you can give me? Let me just sleep. And the nurse was like, you can't sleep. This is not even the time to sleep. That you can't sleep. And my catheter came out at past 5 in the morning. Then I started dilating. I dilated to about 6 cm. That thing is the most uncomfortable thing in this world.
Yeah.
And those doctors will do it like it's no big deal. They put their gloves and they put your hand there. No. That thing is the most uncomfortable feeling in this world. And it came at 8 a.m. It was like, oh yeah, about 6 centimeters. That is good. That in 3 hours you have dilated to about 6 cm. And they kept coming and they kept putting their hands, and I did not dilate past 6 cm.
It's horrible. I hate it.
And this was around past 5 in the evening already. So I had almost 24 hours in labor. And at that time, my BP just rose to about 180. And the gynae had been saying, because the hospital is not like you see the same gynae. I think my first trimester I was seeing Dr. Bello, then it changed. But I liked Dr. Bello, so I was happy that it was the one that I was seeing towards delivery, and it was the one on duty that day. And Dr. Bello was like, I'm not even going to allow you to try to push anything with this BP. They're just going to sign a C-session. And I'm like, I'm even tired. Just get this baby out.
Even with that BP.
Irrespective of how you want to get it out, just get it out. And I remember at that time, my mom was already at the hospital. My mother-in-law was already at the hospital. And I told my husband, please don't mention anything to them. I don't want anybody to panic.
Yes.
Because I'm already in a situation of uncertainty myself. I don't want anybody panicking on my behalf. Just tell them everything is fine. And I remember arranging me for the theater and all. And Dr. Bello said to me that the anesthesia that was supposed to come said he has closed for the day. Nigeria, there was no coming back to the hospital. That even him is supposed to close by 7 p.m. But he wants to make sure that he takes my delivery by himself. And so now he was going to improvise, but at some point I'll feel the pain of being cut open. And I'm like, it's like, I don't know. It feels scary, and you know when they're telling you the kind of pain you will feel in advance. This is no pain of you pushing, but this is the pain of them cutting you open and they're telling you that you will feel it. So we got into the ward, and I mean the theater, and they did all. He cleaned me first, and he put the knife through first, and it's like, "Did you feel anything?" I said, "Yes." I felt something move across my stomach, but I didn't feel any pain. I was like, "Okay, that's good." He did the second one. "Did you feel anything?" I'm like, "Yes." I felt something across my stomach. And the third time, I just till tomorrow. If Dr. Bello said they're like, "Jesus help me," that was what he called me. And the third time, the pain I felt, I just screamed, "Jesus help me." And the last thing I remembered was them putting something on this, my longest finger, and I don't know what happened. And that was all I remembered. And when I woke up, I was seeing white first. Then they had wheeled me to the room. Before I opened my eyes, and like, where's my? The first thing, I didn't even come to consciousness on time. I think I just looked at everywhere, and I'm like, where was I? Where is this? Who is this? Before I answered my mom, finally, I'm like, where's my child? Where's my husband? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, so the hospital that I use, they don't give you your child immediately. They take your child for all the checkups that the child needs. So if you think you want to do exclusive, they spot it from the beginning, because they're not going to bring your child to you until all their checks is fine and they are certain that your child is fine. But my mom went with them, saw where they put the child, so she was going to check on the child, and that was my first labor experience. My second one, I sincerely wanted a vaginal birth because I just wanted to have the experience. After my first child, I was indifferent of which one. But the second one, I actually wanted to experience it. Like, okay, what is a vaginal birth like? You know. But you know, these doctors in the UK, they will not tell you that this is what you should do. This is what you should not do. And the risk is not high. But since you have had the CS, it's not better yet. Well, they were putting me back. I just told them, okay, you should not worry. Just, I'll come and do the CS. They gave me a variation of dates. I picked the date and I wanted. Okay. And I just went for a CS for the second one. So I was not in labor too anyways. So that's why I had my second child too.
Thank you very much for your labor experience, Kehinde. Yeah. Did you have a birth plan? And if so, how closely did your experience follow it?
I certainly don't understand what you mean by a birth plan. Like,
yeah, you know, some people, they might want water bath. So there's this thing they put on, like water bath. I get. Or maybe you want natural delivery.
Yeah, I wanted the natural delivery.
Okay.
But at the same time, I was indifferent. So I was not sure if in my mind, all I just wanted was a child and a baby and a mother being safe. But if you ask me sincerely, I wanted a natural delivery. Yeah. Because the way I wanted it for my second child shows how much I just wanted to have that natural birth experience, but I still did not have it. So I actually wanted a natural birth delivery, but I had a CS eventually, even though I eventually had a taste of what labor is small and the putting of hand.
Thank you very much. Were there any unexpected challenges or surprises during childbirth?
It was the BP because and throughout my pregnancy, my BP didn't rise at all. I had 120 flat, 120/80 steady. So it was the question everybody was asking, especially the doctor, was, where is this BP coming from? Because if I had showed symptoms of IBP
during pregnancy,
they would have been cautious of it. So even through them to have balance, that where's all this coming from? So it was the BP. I don't know where it came from. It just from nowhere. So it took me by so much surprise. That was it.
Thank you very much. How did you manage pain and discomfort during labor?
Hey. I used to know that I have threshold for pain. My threshold for pain is quite high, but that pain is different.
Mm.
I don't know how to put it. You know when you want to purge, and at the same time your stomach is running at the same time, and you think you're already purging, but your stomach is still running. And at the same time you're at the toilet, but the people that is purging you don't want to come out, and you cannot go back to sit down. And no.
Labor experience.
I don't know how. I really understand when people now shout during labor and everything, because that feeling is. I think men should witness that more.
Yeah.
To be able to give credits to women.
To women, yeah.
That thing is not a very nice feeling.
Mm.
It's not. It's just that you know how they say that when you finally give birth to the child, you forget about it. But because if you remember that thing, maybe afterward, you just want to do anything again. Yeah. But that feeling is God is good and kind. God is, because I don't know.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. Who was with you during labor and delivery?
My husband, both. My husband, both. Even my second delivery, we were both gisting. We didn't even know that they had brought out the baby. And since we're both talking, and the doctor was like, "Here's a baby." And I'm like, from where to where? Because we were just talking, and my husband was always in my delivery.
Thank you very much. How did your support team, partner, family, medical staff help you during the birth?
For my first child, I'll still say it anyway. God bless Dr. Bello.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dr. Bello. He made sure that everything went well before he left the hospital that night. He was really supportive. Even postnatal care, he was giving his advice, and also. But in the UK, this UK system is a very organized one. You have visits from calls from midwife. They keep calling, and you go to the hospital. They give you, as a pregnant lady, they give you priority for everything. They check you up constantly. My second child, I had high blood sugar. My blood sugar was slightly high during one of my tests. So since then, they gave me this blood sugar monitor and all. So I had calls from the dietitian every week regarding because I had the responsibility of sending my blood sugar recordings to the dietitian. So she talked about my diet, talked about everything. They made sure that my blood sugar was really, really in check till delivery and even after. So the system here is quite good for that. So we had the follow-up week in, week out. Even after I ran out of the instruments for the testing, if you see the bag they gave me, it's still in my house. It's plenty. So there was constant checkup on that aspect.
Yes. Thank you very much. What were your feelings and thoughts when you first saw your baby?
For my first child, I was really happy because eventually you had seen what you have been carrying for a very long time. So I was happy. I could feel how my hand, even prior to the fact that even when I had her, I could not see her until I had her this evening. I could not see her until the next evening because of the hospital policies and all. So when I saw her, she was, you know, like you have a very tiny little human being that is yours. That you now call your child, and I was happy sincerely. She was really tiny and cute, but I was happy.
Thank you very much. Can you describe the initial moment of bonding with your newborn?
Yeah, my first child was ass sucking, and it felt so unreal that somebody was sucking from your chest. And you carry a child, and she was a foodie. as in from the first latch, it was like, so it felt there was, I don't know how to explain it, but there was this connection, like, this is mine, and this is my child. This child is from me. This child is mine. But for my second child, in the UK, when you first give birth to the child, they just carry the child and put on your chest. I say that, what do they even call it? Mother warmth or something. Okay. So that was my first connection with her. And she was just there. She was just, like a small little girl, just looking around, like, where am I? Where am I? That kind of thing. But it was the whole beautiful experiences, really.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. So thank you very much. I will come back to the third section. So Kehinde, shares a pregnancy experience, a birth experience. Now she'll be sharing her postpartum recovery with us, how she was able to manage after birth delivery experience. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Who was your physical recovery after childbirth?
I'll say everybody. My first child, after I had my first child, when I got home, my mom, my mother-in-law, they were on ground. My mother-in-law brought her helps, about 2 of them, to my house. Even when I had my own too, so they were
helping you out.
Helping me out. So for my first child, I was quite of a sport wife. But even though everything did not last more than 41 days, because after 41 days, all of them left. But for that first 41 days, I had every help you need. I almost did not lift a finger. In that first 41 days, it was even my mom that was consciously calling me, come and see how we are batting this child, so that when we go, you will know how to beat her, So my mom was on standby, my mom-in-law was on standby, there were helps around. All I needed was just breastfeed the child and just rest.
Thank you very much.
But for my second child,
it
was not the same. So I was in the UK, and it was just me and my husband. So he had to take some time off work just to stay at home with me. But in this UK, if you not work, you not chop.
Yes.
So he could not stay at home long for more than 3 days. He had to go back to work. So it was basically just me and God and him too, because when he came back at night, he would take up the night's duty while I just rest in the night, and like that. That's how we kept going.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. What were some of the challenges you faced during the postpartum period?
Sincerely, my first child, I did not know anything like postpartum whatever with my first child. I have to say that one, I was just a sports wife and everybody around me. And it's funny that how I bounced back after my first child. I remember I left the hospital the fourth day after delivery. And when I was going back for my checkup on the 6th day, I drove myself. I was back and all around. Even though I had all the support and care on me, but personally, I didn't feel tired. I felt energetic to do certain things that I wanted to do personally. I wanted to run some errands for myself, so I could do that. So I had a lot of people around me, so there was not even time for me to go into depression. Even after everybody left at 41 days, I'd had so much love for the 41 days for me to feel bad.
Yes.
I had so much. My mother-in-law was just some street away from me. So even if I needed anything, she was somebody I could work with. But she took it upon herself that she was coming back from her work every night. She was going to branch just to check up on me. Am I okay? Nice. Am I fine? Do I need anything? So for that, my first child, it was good. But for my second child, it took God because I was in the UK.
You're all alone.
I was all alone. I wasn't working. I didn't have much of the company around me. It was just me. So there were times I would just break down in tears because I felt all alone. I don't want, and I'll not do it when my husband is around because I don't want him to feel like he wasn't doing enough. Yeah. But sincerely, he was doing enough because aside taking care of me and the house, He was paying my school fees on the other hand. So I didn't want him to feel like he wasn't doing enough. So when he was at home, I'll put on the happy face and just to make him, but when he left for work, that was the only one. There are times I will cry. There are times I will ask myself, who asked me to even get pregnant, There are times I'll ask myself, there are times that I'll even think that I'll be thinking that if this baby was not here now, I would have done this. If the baby was. So it took me a conscious effort for me not to start blaming the child for everything that was wrong with me.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
I started, sometimes I was like, if this child was not, but it took grace of God to break me out of that space, because over time I just learned to enjoy the company of the child. I learned to enjoy how beautiful the child is. Enjoying to set myself back to reality that this is my reality now. If you don't enjoy it, you just continue to live a frustrated life.
Yeah.
So I became conscious of enjoying what I have now. Like I have another child with me, and everything I have to do has to be around the child, and I have to enjoy the process. It's not as easy as it is being said, sincerely.
Yeah.
Because I know that postpartum depression is quite very real.
It's real, yeah.
And please, if you run into it, please pick up. Not everybody has the courage to put up a front, you know. So if you have people around you that you can talk to, that's why since after my second child, every of my friends that I had known that had given birth, I used to tell them, please ask for help.
Yes.
Don't be shy to ask for it.
Yeah.
Wherever you can get it, ask. Don't form strong woman. There's no award for being a strong woman. Also, don't be a strong woman. If you need the help, ask immediately. Even if you ask, if it's your neighbor, if you have good neighbors that you think you can talk to, ask. If you need somebody to help you carry this child while you just take a nap, please do, because all of these little things that we think doesn't make sense are what will eventually pile up. The frustration, you want to sleep and you're not being able to sleep, and that child keeps crying, you just get angry. And so please ask for help if you need to ask, speak up if you need to talk to somebody, and you'll get back.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. How did you feel emotionally in the weeks and months following birth?
With my first one, like that one, it was easy peasy, and I had to resume work 3 months after. So I put her in the crèche close by work. I was going to see her in my break, and I wasn't feeling. I was happy because everything was. I had all the care that I needed if I wanted.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So that one was. My recovery was easy. It was. But with my second child, it took me, like I said, it took me time to accept that now I have this child. Now this child is my response. It took me. It's not like I was not aware that I was pregnant. Definitely, I knew I was pregnant. Definitely, I knew this child was going to eventually come out.
Okay.
But that's what it is. Your emotions are everywhere. So sometimes we will live in the denial of what is on ground. So it took me time to accept that now I have a child, and this child is mine. This child is not the reason of the cause of anything going on around me.
Yes.
So I should not blame the child for anything. Embrace this child. So it took me time and time and time. Then this is my child. This, reassurance back and forth again. This child is not the cause of my problem. I will love this child. I'll, back and forth like that. So like that.
Thank you very much for that, Kehinde. Did you experience any baby blues or postpartum depression, and how did you cope?
I think I've already answered it before. Like I said, it's a conscious and deliberate effort. So when anybody's in postpartum depression, and all those, some of the aged women will say it's because of our generation, we are weak, they had it in their own time. They didn't just realize. Is of late that I was just trying to remember when I was a child, I watched a movie of something Abyssinian, like somebody gave birth and ran mad. All of these are symptoms of postpartum depression that they did not catch on time. So that's what they termed it as. So they didn't have that knowledge in their own time.
Before,
all of them wanted to be strong and prove a right probably to their neighbors. But if you feel like you are running into the ditch with your emotions, please speak out. Talk to somebody about it. Don't be silent at all. Don't be.
That's fine. So, thank you very much, Kehinde. What kind of support did you have during postpartum?
I had my husband, sincerely. My husband is a patient man. Even though I try to put a front in his presence, he saw he noticed what was going on. And my husband being a patient person, my husband is not somebody that attacks when something is happening. It's not somebody that just back. My husband is a deep thinker. Before my husband will have a conversation with you, just know that he has thought about it more than 10 times before even coming to you. So I'd passed that phase totally. I'd even forgotten that I was feeling the way I was feeling when he talked about it. He said he saw it. He said he felt like I was pushing him away. That was just on the edge of everything. I didn't even know I was, because he was saying that every small thing I was snapping. Any small thing I was shouting, any small thing I was angry.
So he was able
and personally, I was not seeing it. I thought I was just being
doing normal thing.
But he was saying it, and probably because he understood what was going on, he was really patient with all of my. He didn't come up with the conversation until months after, and I had to tell him thank you for understanding, because sincerely I didn't even see what I was doing. I didn't even know. That's the truth. I didn't see what I was doing, but he saw it, and
thank you very much, Kehinde. Were there any resources or services that were particularly helpful during your recovery?
I sincerely think it was the internet, because I had to, upon realizing how I was, thank God for God, sincerely God first, because I think it was God that brought my consciousness back to, this baby is not the cause of anything. Because I was not working. I didn't work for 4 months. So I felt like I didn't have enough money. If this baby was not here now, I'd have gone to work. If this baby was not here, do you understand? So it was God that brought the consciousness back to me that this baby is not the cause of anything at all. So that one first. So I think it was that consciousness that this baby is not the cause of anything. Then I went to the internet to check for things and shout out to responsible influencers on Instagram. You know, we have a lot of nonsense people there. But shout out to the responsible ones that share meaningful experiences. You know, so I had a lot on YouTube too. People that had gone through this thing and how they came out of it. So practical steps and all.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. So you're welcome back to the last section of this program. So Kehinde, she has actually shared the pregnancy experience, the postpartum experience, and even the delivery experience. So she's going to share her life as a mother, how she was able to balance work with the responsibility of being a mother. Thank you very much, Kehinde. So this is the last section of this. So how has your daily routine changed since becoming a mother?
Hey. It has really changed, because now sometimes it's not even about me anymore. It's about these 2 little organs that I have now. So my daily routine has changed, because when I wake up in the morning, after my own personal prayers and all, everything about them comes first. What they are going to eat, what they are going to wear, what they are going to do, the activities planned for the day, and all. So, and the kind of place we are now, this UK now, it has to be the child comes first. So every of my activity, every other thing I have to do, have to be according to their own plan. I cannot do anything until my first one goes to school. If I get back home, I'll sort when you come back from school, it's joy, you know, understand. So even my work schedule, there are days that they call me at work and I cannot come to work because
of
my children. So everything which is around me. So a lot of things have changed about me. I have been, I think I'm a patient person before, but my patience level now is high because she knows my two giants. So I'm tempted to scream, but I'll just swallow it. I'll hold my peace, So a lot of things have changed, and I've learned to overlook things.
Yeah.
Before
we have to. Yeah.
It's not like I don't overlook things, but I like my things in certain way. I don't like a scattered house. I don't like a scattered bed.
No.
I don't, but now
No.
I just leave the bed and somebody is going to do jumping on the bed and I'm goodness and mercy. I just leave this bed. And you just think you just arrange the house and the whole house is upside down. But now I've learned to live with it. I tell people, if you come to my house and you see someone, just realize I have 2 children. And
just within 1 minute, everywhere is scattered.
Everywhere is just a mess. I thought the best you can meet my house is when they have gone to bed.
Yeah.
And then if you come early in the morning before they wake up. But once they are awake, I'm not even bothered.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. What does a typical day look like for you now?
You wake up, take care of the kids, you go to work. If you get somebody to stay with them at home. But it's just your life as a mother. Your life just revolves around them now, sincerely. Everything about you is about for your child. Because now they come first.
Yeah.
And you hold the responsibility, like I said from the beginning. It was one of my major fear of being a mother, that the way these children turns out, the bulk of it is in what you do.
Yeah.
So to consciously push positivity in them, to consciously tell them the kind of words they should say, to consciously imbibe your own values that you want in them. It's a big task, and you have to continue to do it. You cannot do it once and stop. It has to come with consistency. I know how children can be. You are telling them to do this and you're asking you why. And you're saying again, why? And saying sometimes I'll tell them the reason why is because I'm your mother. So it doesn't be because I'm your mother, and just keep quiet, But they keep asking you why. So when they keep asking you questions, you have to be filling that curiosity with good orientations, good mindset, good values, just to make them, this is what you must do. So your life just revolves around them day in, day out. And it just has to be about them.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. How do you balance the demands of motherhood with other responsibilities, such as work or personal time?
Prior to being a mother, I'm a perfectionist. If you give me work before that time, just expect 100%. With my first child, I was still almost like that. But at some point, there was a day I can't forget. I fought my boss at work one day. I can never forget. It was like, I'm like, my child closed by 5 and I'm going. There's nothing you can do. Me before would I've got to my husband, I will stay. And I can't even believe that I walked out of my boss. And it was on a Friday night. I told him we'll be resolving the issue on Monday. If you give me prayer, I will sign it, I will feel it, So it took me, I now have to realize that before I can give 100% to something because there's no other thing to do. But now it has to be balanced. I'm not going to do more than myself.
Yes.
Really. But at the same time, my children will not lack my presence. And all of that. So sometimes when I was a student, when I was doing my thesis and all, I wait for them to sleep before I cannot do my academics. I wait for them to sleep before I can do some certain things about my life. So you have to be able to balance yourself out as a mother. You have to be able to plan your day. So one thing I do every morning when I wake up, I go to the note on my phone. type everything that I want to do today. I don't make it unrealistic at the same time, because it can be overbearing when you make it unrealistic. Sometimes I just put, okay, today take this girl to school, feed this one, when this one sleep. Okay, when this one sleep, maybe I just want to fill in to do 2 or 3 things on certain works. I still have a board, an NGO in Nigeria where I'm on the board. Sometimes I just have to put in things in that aspect. So, and I still work in the UK, but because of childcare now, I have to now resolve work around my husband's schedule. And so I only work on days my husband will be available to be at home with the kids, and all of that. So sincerely, you have to be deliberate, and you have to know that you cannot give your 100% to everything again, like you used to do when you were
unlike before.
So don't fight yourself hard when you think that you are not being productive. At even some point, you will lose yourself. You will forget yourself. You will lost yourself in it. Don't be bothered. I'd shared this story before of how you become a mother and you lose yourself. Just random story on my Instagram story, and I had over 30 people buzzing, like they feel the same thing, they feel this. And I'm like, oh, so I'm not the only one feeling this way. I'm not the only one feeling like I have lost myself to motherhood. I'm not the only. So that all of us talked about what do we think we can do sincerely, and we came up with it. You have to be deliberate. You have to know that you cannot give your 100% to everything. You know the portion of things, the amount of your strength you can put in this and in this. And if you know this is what you can do in this, do it and get out. If you have a job, do your job. And at the same time, while doing your job, your children are not neglected, or you're not neglecting your job for your children, because your job too is paying. So you have to be
to take care of them.
Everything. Just wait it out. It can be difficult, yes. There are days that you even say no to one of them, but just make sure it's balanced and look after your own self too. Very important.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. What strategies do you use to manage time and stay organized?
I'm a very time conscious person. Very, very, for no just reason, I'm always very wristwatch, even in the house, because I have to do things at certain times, and if I don't do it, I can lose track of myself. So, like I said, when I wake up in the morning, or before I go to bed in the night, most times is what I want to do for the day. I have it planned out. Sometimes I don't even have a specific time to them, but I will make sure that, okay, this is this 5 things I want to do today. Before the close of today, I must do them. So it helps me, and putting your children in a time routine helps you balance it out. So my children wake up 7 in the morning. I wake them up. Even though they don't wake up, I'll go and wake them up. You have your bath, you have your breakfast. I'll know that
one is settled.
If I have other things to do, I'll do. If the one going to school goes to school, the little one can be sleeping. While she's sleeping, I'm sorting out other thing that has to do with my life. So you have to be very deliberate about it, because if you don't, time will pass you by. Time will keep flying, and you'll just feel like you feel like everything is just going and you're not getting anything done. So you have to be deliberate. At some point I have to do full timetable on my laptop, so that I'll know that when it comes to food, I'm not thinking, okay, what did I write on this timetable today? Okay, just book it and let them. So if that's what it will take you to do, just do it. It helps you put your children in routine. My kids, once it's 8, you're on the bed, you are sleeping, you are not sleeping. Just go and be there. Eventually you fall asleep, and when they fall asleep, I don't sleep until probably 11. So between 8 and 11, so I try to sort my life out too. Sometimes there's even nothing I want to do. I just want to watch movie on my own. And at the same time, that's what I will still do. And just sort yourself.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. What are some of the biggest challenges you faced as a mother?
I, for one, as a person, I'm not persuasive. I don't know how to. I step at people that I don't think the worst job I can do is a marketer. I cannot beg anybody to buy anything from me. I'm not persuasive at all. But it was one thing I had to learn as a mother, because sometimes you need to persuade these children to make them do what you want them to do. So you need to be able to, that your idea that you want to give them,
yes,
you need to sell it in a way that okay, you will accept it
in a reasonable way.
And you know, children, if you force it on them,
no,
you are just shouting and screaming, nothing will go. So you have to be persuasive about this is how you want it to be. So I learned that really in a hard way. I learned to, okay, this is what I want you to do. How do you want to do it? Do you like it like this? I learned to be persuasive as a person in motherhood, and I think it has helped me a lot.
yeah, thank you very much. How have you overcome or adapted to these challenges?
And like I said, I already own that this one is my, Yoruba will say is your cross, just carry it. So it's how you will carry the cross very well that your back will not break. That is how you are going to be about it. No motherhood journey is easy. Even nobody, if everybody is say outside, when you call them to come and discuss their motherhood journey, everybody has a thing to say.
Yes.
And don't compare your journey with another person's journey, especially with your children. I used to tell people, don't even the children you have in your house, don't compare them. If you compare the children you have in your house, you create enmity even in your own house. Not talk of comparing your children with people outside. Every child will grow in their pace. Every parent has a style. If somebody tells you that this is how they do for their own child, if it works for them, fine. If it's good and you think you want to imbibe it, fine. If it works for you, fine. If it doesn't, don't force your child and say somebody's child is doing that way.
Yeah.
So respect your own journey, respect your child, study your child, know what your child wants per time. I have 2 girls and both of them are absolutely different.
Yes.
I have 2 different human beings in my house. To boil down to food. My first child, she's a picky eater. My second, anything goes. So I cannot be eating and saying you must eat because your sister is eating. So you have to treat each individual child the way that they are. You have to adapt. You have to bring yourself into what they want, into what each child wants, and make them understand this is what you should do. This is what this is okay for this now. For example, this afternoon I made swallow. My first child will never eat pepper at all. At all. So she had that swallow with just a wedu and she's fine. And this one is having her own with egusi and she's fine. So both of them, individual children, just manage their life the way that you think that both of them will be fine with it and get them going.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. Can you share some of the most joyful, rewarding moments you've experienced as a mom?
I have quite a lot, sincerely. And for me, is when I see the values you have been putting in your children come alive. I find it very rewarding, I'm from when I was growing up, I find it annoying when a child fights another child and the parent will tell the child to go and fight back. I'm not saying that we should raise children that are dull or not smart, but there's a way to respond to everything, and that is what you should teach your children. So when I see my child, how do I put it now, displaying the values that I've been trying to impute in them, I feel very happy. I feel like at least my hard work is yielding results, When I see like everything that I'm trying to, all the day in, day out words that you're saying in your house, you have to be good to people, you have to apologize if you are wrong, you have to, this kind of thing. When you see your child now bringing out those values that I've been trying to instill in them, for me it's absolutely rewarding and like that.
Thank you very much. What are some of the things you love most about being a parent?
The fact that I have tool to call mine.
Yes.
Firstly, and I have um people that lean on me and ask questions, and you're talking, and I can't even put it in words in particular, because for me it's actually very, I enjoy being a mother. I was telling my husband the other day that I was just saying, like, can you just be paying me salary and let me just stay at home with these children? That is how much I now enjoy being their mother and mother,
Yeah.
So I really enjoy the company. I enjoy being around them. I enjoy the talks, the stories. Sometimes they shout and they bant.
Yeah.
Even sometimes they scattered. If I come inside the house and the house is not scattered, I can be worried that I hope all the time. All the things I used to dislike, I'm settling in it now, and I'm enjoying it at the same time. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. How have you grown or changed as a person since becoming a mother?
I have grown, and I have changed. I have grown.
You have to adapt.
I have grown. I have grown. I have changed. I have grown up. Like, I've grown up. Like I said, I'm the last born, so you know how it can be for last born that everybody's responsibility, but nobody's your responsibility.
Yeah.
But now it has changed, and I have grown up. Before I used to be very indecisive. I used to want to wait for somebody to validate my decision before taking it. But now I know that this one itself will need my own validation. So I have to be very decisive on my own and take action on my own. So I have really gone, I have been very decisive. I have been patient. I have been more accommodating.
Yeah.
I have been more loving. I have been, motherhood brought out a part of me that I did not realize that I had. I have been more loving, as in now motherhood has made me to be. It's not like I don't like people, but I randomly cannot just play with people before. I cannot just randomly play with people, but now I can randomly even see just a little baby going by, and I'm like, oh, you're cute, So I've been really more loving, and I think I'm enjoying what I am now. Sincerely, I'm enjoying the kind of person that I am now, and I'm loving it.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. What have you learned about yourself and your family through this journey?
I'm still a work in progress. That's for me. I've learned so much. I've learned that motherhood made me see how good my husband is, especially when I got to this UK. I'm telling you, in Nigeria, how we all just you go to work, your husband goes to work, you come back home. If you have help, you help. But it made me really see how considerate my husband is.
Yeah.
My husband sometimes comes home, and he doesn't. I've not even cooked, and I'm like, don't bother. He looks through the fridge freezer. Anything he says, he eats. If he doesn't say anything, just go get bread, and you'll be fine. It made me see how much of these are things I never noticed about my husband before. It made me really see how good of a person that he really is, And for my family, he has brought my family. He has bonded us more. Because if you're not talking about yourself as a couple, you talk about your children. So there's always something to talk about. Yes. Did you see what your child has done? Or your child, your baby just does something really funny when your husband is not around. You snap it and you send it to your husband. Have you seen you? So it makes the bond in the family even grows stronger and better. So it has helped me grow. It has helped my family grow. It has made our bond better and more, like that.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. Are there any things you wish you had known before you became a parent?
Just know that I know that it was a responsibility, but I did not understand the gravity of the responsibility until I became one. And a lot of things that my mom used to say when I was back at home, I'm just realizing. My children, I would tell my mommy that when I used to eat everybody's leftover, My mom would say, when you get to your own house, pour everybody's leftover away. I wish that I wish the mom that you're big because I still put leftover. But guess who's eating everybody leftover in our house now? It's me. I'm the current leftover eater in the house, you know. So it's I don't even know how to explain it, but it's beautiful. Being a mother is just beautiful. It's a beautiful experience.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. What advice will you give to someone who is about to become a mother?
Read books. Yes, read. I read a couple of books too. Read books. Engage, like I said, sensible people. I used to put it specific because there are a lot of advice everywhere. But people that you know that they are quite sensible, people that you have seen their motherhood style, that you have seen their marriage style, and you think that is worthy of emotions. Mind you, there's no marriage or motherhood experience without its own challenge.
Yeah.
Everybody has his own challenge, but if you see somebody that is still doing it well, and you feel like this person is doing it well, walk up to them, ask questions, read books, and drop a lot of negative information everywhere. So you cannot keep digesting everything. Select what you feed yourself with. Select what you feed your mind with. Ask questions if you don't know. Don't assume things. And just be ready to enjoy your own journey too as it comes. Because even no matter how much of counseling or experience, your experience might be totally different from anything or everything that you have heard. So just enjoy your own self. Enjoy your own experience. Embrace your own experience. Don't compare it. Everybody's strength is not the same. Don't compare your experience. Enjoy your experience and enjoy your children too. That's it.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. So we've come to the end of today's program. Thanks for joining our program Mother's Experience. So we'll see you next time.